Hi, my name is Dennis McLeod. Thank you so much for your time and completing those previous surveys. Really appreciate your help. And in this video, what I want to talk about are the top 7 deadly diseases that strike black people most. So the first is diabetes. Diabetes impacts black people. I don't know if you have any friends that have diabetes or family members. I know I do. And diabetes, as we all know, is high blood sugar. So one of the ways that we might be able to get through and decrease our chances of having diabetes is to eat a little healthier. I really have made some changes in my own personal life. I've been able to eat a little healthier, just add a little bit more vegetables, add a little bit less fat in my diet, and as a result, I've seen some changes. And my family is predisposed to diabetes. Maybe some people out there that are watching this video, maybe some of your families are predisposed as well or are likely to get diabetes. And I'm just here to tell you that there are some things you can do as far as changing your diet. The next is asthma. Now, asthma is a little more tricky. There's nothing that can be done that you can do in order to decrease your chances of actually having asthma in your family, but you can decrease how it impacts you in your life. So the good news is that if you decrease things like smoking, no matter what you're smoking, whether it's hookah, other illegal or illegal drugs like tobacco or marijuana, not smoking will be able to help you and your body not be able to have asthma problems. I have nephews that have asthma issues, and it may be in my bloodline, I'm not sure, but I do know that I have decided not to smoke at all, and as a result, I'm hoping that I won't have any issues with asthma. Another is a death from lung scarring. There's a famous football player, Reggie White. He died at age 43 from scars on his lungs. And one of the other things that we can do, again, there may not be a lot that can be done about this particular disease. However, if you keep your lungs clean, if you're living a healthy life, if you're breathing healthy air, so not smoking, then we can decrease the chances that we'll be able to have that issue. Another that I've alluded to already is tobacco smoke. We are much more likely to develop lung cancer and to have other lung-related issues as a result of smoking tobacco. Now, when you have certain chronic stressors and when you grow up in certain neighborhoods, especially the type of neighborhood that I grew up in, it is much harder for you to be able to cope with your stress and your issues. And what that means is sometimes black people are, especially low-income people, whether you're black or white, you're more likely to turn to different coping strategies, whether it's relationships that may or may not be healthy, whether it's actually drugs and alcohol. It could be all types of things, but the idea is to realize that sometimes when you have stress, you need to have a good outlet. So sometimes church can be a good way to get around having issues like even smoking. I know sometimes you might not think of those two connecting, but it indeed is true that sometimes being able to find more positive coping strategies will keep you away from the negative ones. Black people also develop high blood pressure, much higher than white people do. And one of the main causes of this is our diet. The real issue is that when we put bad foods or fatty foods into our body, they build up into our veins. And as our veins get clogged up, our blood pressure rises. Also, we have lots of stress at times. And a lot of research has looked at stress in black people. And we've learned a lot about resiliency. But generally speaking, African Americans, whether they have a lot of money or a little bit of money, whether they're educated or uneducated, we tend to experience more stress than our white counterparts. And one of the reasons is because of oppression, because of racism. And there's lots of research out there, there's lots of books and things I'd be happy to talk about. But for the sake of this video, I'll just point to the fact that you may experience more stress in the outside world and also in your inside world than others. So you have to be careful what you put in your body, which is why we're talking about diet and other things that may be helpful. The next disease that attacks black people more than white people are strokes. And a stroke is just a part of your brain that's just not functioning right, maybe not getting enough oxygen. Sometimes it can come from stress, sometimes it just comes from your genetics and something that your parents may have passed down to you. So as a result, we have to make sure that we're, again, taking care of our body, getting good oxygen into our bodies, and doing our very, very best to not just prevent these things from happening, but also know your history. If you know that your family has this stroke running in their family bloodline, then make sure you find out these things and tell your doctor so they'll be able to help you out better. And finally, there's cancer. There's lots of different cancers that exist. There's pancreas cancer, there's prostate cancer, which usually happens to a lot of men. There's lots of different cancers that exist, lung cancer. Some of these cancers can be avoided, Like we talked about lung cancer and lung scarring. Some of them can't. Sometimes men get prostate cancer just because they've lived long enough, and that's how the body starts to act. But the good news is that the more we exercise, the more we eat well, the less likely we'll be able to develop these cancers, and the more likely we can live a healthy, long life. And that's exactly what I want for you, is to live a very healthy, long life as a black person. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget the code when you go back to your survey will be 1279. Thank you.